So Donald Trump wants to return Iran to the Stone Age where it belongs, a line intended to project force, to intimidate. Instead, it reveals something far more telling, not strength but ignorance, profound, staggering ignorance of history and geography of the very region he's threatening to dismantle. This is a brutish man, a man confined to the shallow logic of deals and property. He can't grasp a simple fact. Iran, historically Persia, was shaping organized civilization before the modern West existed in any meaningful form, before America was even an idea. This is not rhetoric, it is history. In the 6th century BCE, under Cyrus the Great, Persia built one of the largest empires the world had ever seen, from Central Asia to the Mediterranean. It developed systems of governance, taxation, infrastructure, communication that would later shape empires. The Cyrus cylinder spoke of religious tolerance, protection of communities, concepts that stand in direct opposition to Trump's language of annihilation. It found new expression under the Abbasid Caliphate within the orbit of a rising and radiant Islamic civilization. Yes, Baghdad was the capital, but the lifeblood of that civilization flowed through Persian cities: Nishapur, Rey, Merv, Balkh, Tus, Esfahan, vibrant engines of civilization. They produced giants: Umar al-Khayyam, al-Razi, al-Firdousi, scholars, physicians, poets, mathematicians, who shaped entire disciplines. At the heart of this world stood institutions such as the House of Wisdom, where Greek, Persian and Indian knowledge was translated, studied, critiqued and expanded, later forming the foundations of the European Renaissance. Where al-Khwarizmi gave the world algebra and the algorithm we use today, where Ibn Sina wrote medical texts that Europe would study for centuries, where al-Farabi and al-Ghazali engaged Aristotle and reshaped philosophy itself. At a time when Baghdad, Nishapur and Merv sustained complex urban life through advanced systems of water management, sewage systems, healthcare and learning, much of medieval Europe was still primitive. This is not polemic, it is historical fact. And yet, this is the civilization Trump produces to the Stone Age. But the danger lies not in the phrase itself, it lies in the logic that follows, because this Stone Age is not metaphor, it is method. It's already being enacted: research centers in ruins, universities bombed. At Shahid Beshet University, advanced laboratories struck. At Iran University of Science and Technology, engineering institutions hit. Medical infrastructure not spared. The Pasteur Institute of Iran targeted. This is not accidental destruction, it is systematic, a strategy not simply to weaken a state, but to destroy a nation, to drag a society backwards not by accident, but by design. And in Israeli circles, the unthinkable is increasingly aired with disturbing ease. Nuclear weapons, neutron weapons, discussed, urged, even joked about. This is the normalization of annihilation. In this worldview, Palestine is not the exception, it is the model. Its destruction has always been accompanied by a narrative, by a myth, a land without a people for a people without a land. This is not historical error, it is colonial strategy. This is how erasure works, not only by changing reality and redrawing maps, but by wiping out the past, rewriting history, reconstructing memory. Because military power alone is not enough. It advances hand in hand with mythology, and within that mythology, old logics resurface, the logic of Amalek, not merely to defeat an enemy, but to exterminate it. At a recent White House gathering of evangelical leaders, the Book of Esther was invoked. Modern Iranians cast as the heirs of an ancient enemy, and God has raised up Donald Trump for this moment to annihilate the wicked Persians. And Trump himself has gone further, justifying the destruction of civilian infrastructure by dismissing Iranians as animals, the same people he claims to liberate with his bombs. Because once you strip a people of their humanity, anything becomes justifiable. We've seen this before. In Iraq, Arabs demonized. In Gaza, Palestinians dehumanized. Today, Iranians. The war machine doesn't simply fight enemies, it manufactures them. It produces and reproduces its enemies, its monsters, each one necessary to justify the brutality that follows. And this isn't just a reaction to Iranian defiance. A week into the war, Trump spoke casually of Iranians having horrible genes, not like our own, resurrecting the darkest chapters of racial extermination. Layered onto all this is an older doctrine. What was once called the white man's burden is today the American or the Israeli man's burden, civilizing mission imposed on a region framed as backward, subhuman, chaotic, expendable. Trump draws from this instinctively. To him, the Middle East is not a civilization, it's a ledger. Oil, energy, trillions to be extracted. And wherever there are centers of history, they're to be demolished, returned to the Stone Age. But this logic doesn't stop at Iran, because to destroy Iran's infrastructure is to wreck the entire Gulf, the very region America calls its ally, the guardian of its dollar. Burn Iran and you burn the entire Gulf. So in the Middle East, America first is a myth. The operative logic is Israel first. A vision of fragmentation, of managed collapse, a region broken into pieces where Tel Aviv rises as everything around it is pushed into ruin, a single city on a hill, a new Jerusalem monopolizing prosperity while everything else lies shattered. Yes, the US and Israel have shown they're capable of immense destruction. They can assassinate, they can bomb, they can level entire cities. But destruction is not success, it is not victory, and it's not worthy of pride or applause. You can pulverize a city, but you can't subdue a people. So when Trump speaks of returning Iran to the Stone Age, understand what is being said. This is not strength, it is a confession of political failure, of moral bankruptcy, because Iran has not been in the Stone Age for thousands of years. What Trump is doing instead is dragging America into an age of savagery, into the logic of the Stone Age.